Our eyes naturally see motion blur, so how do we get our videos to look like this? I'm Noah Gullage, and this is Looking Deeper with Fujifilm. If you take your hand and wave it in front of your face like this, you're going to notice that it's slightly blurry to your eyes. Now we can achieve this same natural motion blur in filmmaking using what's called the 180 degree rule. The 180 degree rule is just where you set your shutter speed to double what your frame rate is. So if you're shooting in 24 frames per second, you're going to want to set your shutter speed to 1/48 or 1/50 depending on what your camera offers. And if you're shooting in 30 frames per second, your shutter speed is going to be, you guessed it, 1/60. If you're shooting in 60 frames per second, you already know the answer, shutter speed 1/120. Now remember that example I showed you at the beginning with my hand? Well, if we break the 180 degree rule and crank up the shutter speed, you'll see that we now lose that natural motion blur. And this just looks very digitalized and unnatural, which is not really what you want when you're filmmaking. We want to utilize this method to make our videos look as natural as possible to the viewer's eye. This is not to say that you have to stick with the 180 degree rule always. There's exceptions to every rule. Like if you want to achieve a shutter drag effect, well, you're going to have to shoot at a slower shutter speed. Or if you want to shoot extreme slow motion with no motion blur, well, crank your shutter speed up. This is just a fairly standard way of shooting video.